So this is a woodland scene. It's 9 inches by 12 inches on Saunders and Waterford, and I painted this a few years ago. I was actually on holiday in Cornwall in the UK. I live in France now, and I'm actually painting on my brother's kitchen table. So even when I'm on holiday, I still take my watercolours with me and produce videos when I can. But it's what watercolour is. It's a wonderful medium, is that you can just set it up anywhere. That quite often I paint inside the camper van if the weather's not good for outdoors and so on. That's how we travel in a camper van. So it's a wonderful medium for the ease of use, which is I think why people are attracted to it. But anyway, back to the demo. So it's a woodland scene, and the big thing with these woodland scenes, I've done lots of them, you need to get connection. That I think they can look wonderful if the scene has a sense of wholeness. So in this demo, so stick around and I'm going to show you how to actually achieve that. And it's so important to get the connection, otherwise you just end up with a painting with just trees look like they've just been stuck onto the paper with no connection, and it's really important. So the first wash here is basically just setting the tone of it's a warm feel to the painting. So I've used that yellow ochre, and it's just slightly sort of blued off towards the top, and I'm actually just wiping a little bit off there, mainly because I wanted to perhaps dry the paper off a little bit. That I think I probably did have a hairdryer with me, maybe not. So painting wet into wet. So, but because I've wiped off a lot of the moisture off the paper, the shapes I put in won't move a great deal. That with a scene like this, it's good to have a good understanding of how damp the paper is to the water to paint ratio to what's going to happen when you put the marks down. That you can see they're softening, but they're not actually changing shape. So that's I suppose the important thing to take from this as well is understanding how damp your paper needs to be, which is why it's so difficult if you just wet your paper first completely, which is kind of the go-to that I think beginners think you need to do with watercolour, but you have very little control over what's going on after that stage. That I think if you're a master watercolour painter, then wet your paper first, what's going to happen. But as a beginner, I think it makes it very difficult for you to paint watercolours. But quite often you start on dry paper like I did here, and then you're on wet paper very soon anyway. But I rather than just make everything really wet, damp it on the back as well, as some suggest to do. But you need some sort of control, but don't try and tell watercolour what to do too much. You've got to let it happen. So I'm just building up the shapes here. That I didn't share the final painting because I think I just made this up really. That I didn't share the painting up on the corner, which I often do to perhaps make it a little bit of a surprise how it finishes. I don't know whether you like that or not, but I'm using very thick paint here. That obviously it's still watercolour, that it still flows, but there's a lot of pigment to water ratio, which is why you need that freshly squeezed paint out. If you've got dried up paints in your pan, it's very difficult. So I'll leave you with a bit of music, and then I shall pop back and see how it's doing. So far so good, and you can see there I'm actually lifting the paint that I've put below and dragging it up and using that to paint these trees, which this is what I mean by adding connection, that it's connecting the foreground there to the trees, and I'll be painting back over those again, but it's adding connection where I can. And you can see that the top of the paper is actually dried now because I'm getting hard edges, where the bottom part where I painted a lot of that wet into wet is still damp. But again, going back into the bottom area, so continually working in areas that are still damp to get these soft effects, and again connection. But it's very important on this scene to retain the light, which is why I didn't go too dark with the sky and the little puddle there in the foreground, which is so important. If you took that away, it just wouldn't have the same effect. And those little puddles kind of lead us through the woodland there. And contrast, so important with paintings, whether it's watercolors, oils, or whatever. You need that light against dark. It gives your paintings, power. Also, we've got a lot of color harmony in this scene. They're very muddy colors I'm painting with here, but it works because it has color harmony, and I've got the light and contrast and color harmony. Three wonderful things in a watercolor painting. So let's carry on with this, and hopefully it's going to be a success. But if you're new to the channel, please do hit that like and subscribe. And if you want to see more videos, the latest stuff I've been doing, so this was probably a couple of years ago, that I've got a website with membership, and there's currently a good offer on as well at the moment. So take a look at that. The link's in the description. So let's get on with this. So I've been drawn to painting these woodland scenes because I think it is a great opportunity for watercolour, because you can create that sense of light and connection, which watercolour is such a great medium for doing. You can see there at the top of the trees where I've used the translucent qualities of watercolour to create that sense of light there. Hopefully I'm not going to cover it all with those leaves, but leave a little bit through. And you can see again the connection of the bottoms of those trees. Where does the land start and end, and the tree starts and end? You can't see, and that's what you've got to look for. Where does it start? Where does it end? You just want that transition from one to the other, but not everywhere. Because if it's just soft everywhere, it just has no structure. But we've got those hard edges in the reflection there, which is what draws the eye. That use the harder edges to draw the eye, and again the leaves and branches in the center there, as it hits the sky, has got hard edges, and that's creating that contrast, again leading the eye. And just that little bit of purple off in the distance is a nice, it works well with the green, very sort of muted, say muddy looking greens, but very natural looking colors, which is why I like the yellow ochre. It works well to make natural greens. But that purple does work well. And at this stage, this is kind of really, we're almost there, but it's just a case of now adding the details, and not too much. That's the challenge, is to and quite often it might just be a case of adding a few darks. That your painting can look a little bit wishy-washy with watercolor if you don't have those strong darks, and I think that's probably a beginner mistake. I certainly did, not being brave enough to go quite strong and thick with the paint, but as you can see, when I start adding some darks here, it does really give it that power. My favorite stage now, just at the very end, I'm using this Pro Art 9A medium brush. It's like a dagger brush, but it holds a lot of water, comes to a very fine point, and where I really reinforce this connection and go right around the painting, connecting things up, keeping the shapes small off in the distance, and I'm losing a lot of the little bits I put in there, but I would rather have the connection and make sure I've got that sense of wholeness, but making sure I do retain that light and keep those darks. So switching back to the Escoda brush there, and maybe I lost the dark a little bit, so putting that back in. And again, like the edges, having a good mixture of soft and hard edges. You don't necessarily want darks everywhere, because you want the eye to go to certain areas. So perhaps just a few of the trees there in the foreground, just adding a few darks in there, and maybe one or two on the other side to balance. I can't remember. Yeah, So there you go. But again, this is all wet into wet, but the paper isn't saturated. You know, it's damp. You know, that's the difference. That when your paper's really wet, you can't control it. You can't get any shapes that stick. So the paper is just damp, and this is the wonderful stage, the paper, where you can create all this softness, retain shapes, but you get those soft edges. So it's all sort of coming together now, the painting. So hopefully you enjoyed the demo. If you want to see my latest videos, join me on my website membership, and also you get a chance to paint with me live on via Google Meet. We have a monthly workshop where I paint along nice and slowly for you to follow along. We've actually got one coming up this week as well. And so there is an offer on the website to join for annual memberships, which is worth taking up. And there's access lots and lots of videos. There's over 100 in the archives, and access to all the videos, the photos and traceables were available, and so on. So scratching out there, adding a bit of light back in, and there we go. So just a few final touches. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.